What is going on YouTube? It is All Things Mets Media, and this video is going to be about who are the top 3 free agents that the Mets should be targeting right now to play the outfield. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, this is where you get your Mets content, which get your latest Mets media. So let's talk about 3 guys that I think definitely the Mets should be targeting, in 2023. Definitely with this last bit of free agency. Tommy Pham, Adam Duvall, and Jurickson Profar are those 3 guys. So let's honestly talk about these 3 guys. Let's start with probably the top pick that I think that the Mets should go after, and that's Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham is a left fielder. He's a really good outfielder. In 2022, his regular season, he hit 17 home runs. He had 63 RBIs. His average was 236, but at the end of the day, the production was well. He hit 17 home runs. And just think about the Mets having a guy like Tommy Pham who plays the outfield well. They have Marcana in left field right now. But just imagine Tommy Pham being there. Tommy Pham is more speedy. Tommy Pham, definitely can handle, more production. At the end of the day, I like Tommy Pham. And he is, when he's facing the Mets, he kills the Mets. Tommy Pham is a known Mets killer. He always seems to hit the Mets somehow and, get on the Mets' nerves. So, listen, maybe, the Mets try to sign Tommy Pham to be their 4th outfielder. Or, we'll see what happens. But I think Tommy Pham definitely should be looked at. The Mets were interested in Tommy Pham. There was a report that the Mets were interested in Tommy Pham. So it makes sense. This guy, like I said, the production went well. 17 home runs, 63 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, bat 236. The average is not very attractive, but the production, it sure is. It sure is. And definitely, the Mets need power. And, you want a guy that has some power. And definitely Tommy Pham has some power. But he has some speed. And he also plays the outfield well. So that's really, the reason why I think Tommy Pham should be, targeted by the New York Mets. And it seems like the Mets are interested. So we'll see what happens with Tommy Pham. But I think definitely, the Mets need some type of power in the outfield, something different that they need in their lineup structure, and Daniel Vogelbach and Darren Ruff is not going to cut it in 2023. They're just not. At the end of the day, they're just not. We saw what happened last year, and yes, it was just a little bit of a half a year, but whatever. At the end of the day, Daniel Vogelbach and Darren Ruff are not going to cut it. They're not. They're just not going to cut it. So let's get into another guy who I think the Mets should be targeting, and that is Adam Duvall. And, when you need power, this guy, Adam Duvall, 34 years old, definitely 22. We know Adam Duvall. As Mets fans, we know that Adam Duvall, he kills the Mets when he faces the Mets. He hits a lot of home runs against the Mets. This guy definitely has power. He's 34 years old. He is a free agent. He hit 12 home runs in 2022. He did have a wrist, season-ending injury in 2022. But at the end of the day, he brings power. And just imagine a lineup with, Adam Duvall in it, and having that power bat. Because the Mets need power bad, and they don't have a lot. So maybe Adam Duvall can be a nice bat, to have in the lineup, and, to be a DH for the New York Mets. But I think Adam Duvall can definitely play the outfield as well. He's not that great of a fielder as Tommy Pham. But at the end of the day, I think Adam Duvall would be a pretty nice pickup. Yes, he hit 12 home runs. He had 36 RBIs, and his average was 213. So not a very attractive average, but he didn't really play a lot of games in 2022. But, I like Adam Duvall. I think, he would be a nice little piece for the New York Mets to have, just a guy that can hit a home run, a guy that can, hit you a sacrifice fly. Definitely a guy that has power, and a guy that you're pretty much scared of, a guy that you're scared to pitch to in a, bases loaded situation. You know, a guy like, you know, Mark Canha, or, you know, those guys, not a lot of people are afraid to pitch to him because Mark Canha is not known for power. But Adam Duvall is definitely known for power. We've seen the home runs that he hit it with the Braves. We've seen what he's done against the Mets. So we know that as Mets fans, Adam Duvall has power. And why the Mets, you know, also the Mets, there was a report that, you know, they were interested in Adam Duvall as well. So it seems like the Mets are definitely interested in getting a fourth outfielder, in picking up someone else in this lineup, you know, and to change the structure of this lineup. Because, like I said, Darren Ruff and Daniel Vogelbach are just not going to cut it in 2023. So, yeah, you know, Adam Duvall, he's going to be a free agent. You know, I don't think he's gonna want a lot of money at the end of the day. Maybe a 1-year contract, a 2-year contract. Maybe he's 34 years old, so I would say a 1-year, you know, 1 year, 10 million contract, something like that. Not a lot of money. I think that the Mets could definitely pick up Adam Duvall, you know. But let's get into another intriguing, you know, free agent name, and that is Jerison Profar. And we know as Mets fans what Jerison Profar did to the Mets in the wild card, and he killed the Mets. He really killed the Mets. He destroyed the Mets in that end of the wild card. And, you know, he's also a productive bat as well. You know, in 2022, he hit 15 home runs. He had 5 stolen bases, 58 RBIs, and an average of 243. So he has the best average out of all of these 3 free agents. But he also comes with speed. You know, he's a good outfielder. He's a left fielder as well. So I think definitely, you know, Jerison Profar, there should be some interest for the Mets on that side. Just because the Mets don't have a lot of outfielders. They really don't. And, you know, yes, they got Brandon Nimmo. Yes, they got Starling Marte. Yes, they got Mark Canha. But then the outfield depth gets really thin because they don't have a lot. So that's why I think the Mets should definitely be looking at Jerison Profar, because he is an intriguing option. You know, I don't think he's going to want that much money. I'll tell you that. But, you know, he's a guy that killed the Mets, and we know what he did to the Mets. He almost single-handedly destroyed the Mets in the wild card, and it came out of nowhere. I don't know. Jerison Profar is a good player, but he really just exploded in that wild card and destroyed the Mets. He just really did. And, you know, we'll see what happens. He is 29 years old, so he's not 34. He's not in the 30s yet, but he is 29. So I think that the Mets should be interested in Jerison Profar. But at the end of the day, I think the Mets need someone. They need another outfielder in the lineup. They need another outfielder. I just don't think Mark Canha is the answer going forward. You know, whether that is Tommy Pham, whether that is Adam Duvall, whether that is Jerison Profar. The Mets need power in the structure of the lineup, and they need to, you know, look for some other options. And I think these 3 intriguing free agents, I think these are really good options here. I think that definitely Tommy Pham has a lot of promise. You know, he had a productive 2022 season. The average is not that attractive or whatever, but I'll tell you this, you know, he's a hard worker. He plays the field well. Jerison Profar comes with speed. He comes with power. You know, and yeah, he's a smart player. And then Adam Duvall comes with power. And, you know, the Mets need power, and they need another outfielder. And I think that the Mets should really, really be looking at these options and in a serious matter. Because like I said, guys, in 2023, do you really want to see Daniel Vogelbach in the lineup again? Do you want to see Darren Ruff as the DH again? Do you want to see that? Because in 2022, that last end of the season, we know Darren Ruff didn't do nothing for the New York Mets. And Daniel Vogelbach, he you know, started off good, but then he just struggled completely, and he just was not great at the end of the day. So I think that the Mets should really seriously look at these targets and, you know, really look into signing one of these players. And I'm not saying they got to sign all the players, but I'm saying they could sign one. And I think Tommy Pham is definitely an intriguing option for the New York Mets, and that they should really look at him because 17 home runs. You know, I mean, I definitely would take that in the Mets lineup, some power. And, you know, definitely what's also surprising is Tommy Pham had more, you know, power than Adam Duvall. But Adam Duvall was injured during the season. So I know that Adam Duvall is going to come with power. You know, if he's healthy, if that wrist is healthy, then I would take a flyer on Adam Duvall. You know, but Tommy Pham, you know, definitely played a lot of the season. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But I think that the Mets should really look at these options. These are very intriguing options for the New York Mets. You know, to change the structure of this lineup. We'll see what happens. But if you enjoyed the video, guys, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is All Things Mets Media. I love you guys so much. Let's go Mets. LFGM for life. Yeah, man. Stay blessed.